Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good day to you. I'm Yemi. This is the weekly outlook for 25th of August to 29th of August 2025. Starting from the forestfactory.com, which is where we get the fundamental outlook for the week. Starting from the Monday, there's no high impact news, but we have the bank holiday on Great Pounds. And on that Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Nigerian time, we have Canadian news coming up. BOC Governor Mark Them is going to speak, and whatever he says will definitely affect the volatility of Canadian dollars. On Wednesday, 27th, 2:30 a.m. Nigerian time, we have the AUD CPI coming up, which is also an expectant to move the markets erratically, most likely. And on Thursday, 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time, we have US dollar news coming up on the prelim GDP quarter by quarter and unemployment claims. On Friday, 29th, we have the 1:30 p.m. Nigerian time, USD and Canadian dollar coming out on the core PCE price index and GDP consecutively. Now, all of that are the highlights for the fundamental outlook for the week. It's quite a week where we do not have so much volatility, so much high impact news in the market, which is expected to make the market a little bit stable than usual. So ideally, this is the outlook on what we have on the weekly time frame analysis for the DXY, which is the dollar index. We start with the dollar index, of course, every single time because it determines what we do with the dollar pairs across board. Now, last week we had the fantastic news from Jerome Powell, which says there may be a consideration for a cut in the interest rate, and the Fed should proceed carefully. And with that outlook, therefore, it changes the course, or it changed the course of the market direction on DXY as we experience that massive bearish momentum on DXY on Friday. Okay, that being said, what is the outlook on this, particularly on the weekly time frame? I still maintain a bullish bias because this price currently is still sitting at a demand zone whereby I'm still expecting more bullish momentum from there. On the daily time frame perspective, what we have here is very simple. I'm seeing the price moving back to a price level where I've anticipated before, which means what I anticipated last week most likely will play out this week. So all I have to do is to just shift this bias, something like this. So that means I'll be expecting more bearish momentum on DXY for this week into this price level before it starts buying again to get to this target of 100 points. So let me see. 100.235. So that is the bias on this currently. And of course, on the 4-hour time frame perspective, let's see what we have there. On the 4 hours, I have the massive bearish candle, of course, for the last week, and we have the rejection. So most likely, it is possible for us to have something like this in the market, whereby we have a little bit of buy momentum into this price range, and the market pushed again, where we have this opportunity to see the price creating that balance right here to retest this zone. So ideally, this is what's saying in the market, and it's also important for you to understand that we are not the market makers. So we expect the market to move. Any which way the market chooses to move, we are just going to deal with that reality. And what we're doing here is to manage our risk. So right here, this is the outlook I have on this on 4-hour time frame perspective. And peradventure, if this is not playing out, like I said earlier, this is still the ultimate goal. This is the ultimate bias on this particular DXY outlook. All right, that being said, let's go straight to the Euro US dollar. Now, what we have here is fantastic one. I can take this off. I can take this off. It has delivered what I was expecting it to deliver. What we have so far is that the price going back into this supply zone, which I had here before now. So if I have to do that, it's more or less like I'm just shifting the market. I'm shifting my bias rather in the market. I'm waiting for the price to play out. So whichever way it is, I'm actually still waiting for the price to do its bits and retrace this massive bullish momentum. And of course, is it possible that the price will actually break above this level? Yes, it's possible. If price will break above this level, there will be a demand zone below, whereby we're going to look at the market coming back into, whereby we have something like this. Market will come back to the demand zone and keep on buying. Okay, but that is not the case of what I'm seeing right now. More of it is from the fundamental outlook where we have the DXY. We likely do a bit of sell. If that we do a bit of sell, that means we have a bit of buy into this range. So this will be in the future. So I can take this away from here now. Okay. So this will be in the future where we have something like this going on here. And of course, we can be, what is the down? Okay, this is it here. I can do something like this, expect bearish momentum from here, something like this, and push this towards this price level here. So that means I'm looking for a sell in this range. So possibly we can have that sell here, whereby the markets will actually buy into this range. And after doing so, grab liquidity from this price level. And the next thing we have is the bearish momentum. So this still remains a very good outlook for me for the week on Euro US dollar on the 4-hour time frame perspective. This is the demand zone, of course. I'm expecting the price to get in the future, and that is why I want to buy from here in the future. So what I'm having here is two-dimensional outlook on the Euro US dollar as well. If this will be selling from this price level, that means we'll be making about 300 pips on average from this outlook in the nearest future. Okay, that being said, let's go to the Great Britain pounds US dollar. I believe this is quite simple. Last week, our analysis was to see sell, analyze the sell from here, expecting the market to sell to the get here. Fundamental happened. So all we made from this outlook for last week was about 170 pips on average, okay, which the market took almost everything back before the closing of Friday. Okay, that being said, this level remains valid because right here, it's just more of an opportunity to see the price. Okay, let me start from the weekly. I actually forgot. Okay, let's see. So this is on the weekly time frame perspective. And when you look at this on weekly, price is around a price level where we're expecting more bearish momentum actually because it's at a supply zone. Okay. And that being said, more insight will be found on the daily time frame. So with the daily time frame outlook, we've seen how the price rejected this one before now. This was the first time after dropping, but expecting more significant drop actually before we have a pullback. Well, here we have the pullback already. So it is likely for the price to actually still go back here, which is right here, and expecting price to actually just do a bit of that buy into this range. And that means the price could just be doing about how many pips? Just be doing about 63 pips into this range before we have a sell. And what does that mean? Does that mean this sell is invalid now? No, it is not. We're still going to sell in the future, just waiting for the price to play out. So with this now, I can take out this one. It's done. We're done with this. So we can go to 4-hour time frame perspective and see the insight we have in the market. So on the 4-hour time frame perspective, last week we sold this and it sold over 170 pips to this moment. And well, this is where the market price is right now. And what we're expecting is to see more bearish momentum from the higher price level. And of course, it may look more like the price will just sell straight down to filling this void with this candle right here. It is very, very possible as well. So I'm not going to sleep on this for long. We'll be looking for a buy later on. That will be a later thing. But currently, the next thing I'll be looking for is a sell. Okay. What I'll be looking for now is a sell. I'll be looking for a sell right here. So peradventure the price retreats back into this level. That means it's retesting the supply zone. And for how many times the market can count, but this is about the third time or thereabouts. And I will be looking for more bearish momentum from there. So I'm not looking for when the price will put me on high jump. So I just want to keep it simple, really. I want to keep it simple. Above this level is my stop loss. So I want to see markets move into this range. That will be about how many pips? 60 something pips in total, 60 pips in total. Move into this range. When the price does, well, it's fine for me. I can look for a sell to refill all of these by inefficiencies in the market because right here, the markets will likely still take it back. And if that should be the case, in the nearest future, then this buy will now be a thing of joy. We can actually see the sell coming to this level, and from here, the supply demand zone, we can start buying from here. So far, so well. This is what we have. This one is a complete model right here, and this is a sell. Having this as retracement, most likely, but eventually the market starts selling without going back in here. It's a part of the game, but ideally, overall, I'm looking for more bearish momentum here because after the little sell I'm expecting on DXY, I'm expecting it to buy. If DXY will be buying, that means Great Britain pounds US dollar should be selling. All right. That being said, on Great Britain pounds USD, let's go to AUD US dollar on the weekly time frame perspective. Let's see what we have there. On the weekly, this guy is not really serious much because, like I've said, over 3 months now, it's been ranging for a long time. Look at all of this. It's ranging actually, but this kind of range can actually blow some people's accounts because it's ranging, creating higher highs and higher lows in the most annoying way. So what do? You have to look for the bigger picture and go in the direction of that bigger picture. For over 4 months, 5 months now, I've analyzed this and I put this here that this is the ultimate price level I'm expecting AUD US dollar to get to in the future. I don't know how long it's going to take, what the market will play out, and how it's going to play it out, but that is just an overall. But on the weekly, currently, it's not really a good thing to check out because it's ranging. On the daily, sorry, going back here, on the daily time frame, let's see what we have on the daily. Okay, it's been an amazing, it's been an amazing journey for those that traded this on Friday because this gave about how many pips, about 80 pips or more in the market. So what do we have here? We still have the opportunity to see a sell momentum on the daily time frame AUD US dollar. This looks very bullish, right? It looks bullish, like we can still expect more bullish momentum before the price gets down. But before then, let's check the 4-hour time frame perspective and see what we have. Last week I analyzed and I waited for the price to get in here. If you check my last week outlook, you will see where I analyze the AUD US dollar, that is, we get to this price level before I start seeing a buy. Of course, from here, the price didn't get to where I was expecting, which is the bearish fair value gap zone right here. And of course, the market moved significantly to the downside. And this created about how many pips in total? 100 pips on average. And then it was in the range where I wanted to buy. And unfortunately, it hit my stop loss right here because my stop loss was quite tight. And what was that? It was about 10 pips. So which means if you are trading this with 16, 20 pips, 20 pips, right, you would have escaped this raid. So I was raided, but eventually the market moved significantly and did about 83 pips, 80 pips on average on Friday for AUD US dollar. That is on the 4-hour time frame perspective. Now, currently, what do we have here? If I have to check, you will see that this level now has played its own part. But what do we now have? It's very simple. You will realize that we're having almost the same structure, expecting it to play out again on this. What do I mean? You see what the price has done here? I'm still expecting more bearish momentum in the future into this ring. In fact, let's go to the 1-hour time frame so it doesn't look like exact repetition of what I just said. Okay, this is a 1-hour time frame perspective. Look at what the price is looking like. And then only for us to have this massive bullish momentum into this range. And of course, markets will definitely find a way to retrace at some point and do a meaningful retracement for it to pull back again. So that should be the case. I'm not looking for a sell right now. I'm not looking for a sell at a more premium price right now. But within what the context of price is showing, I'm expecting a sell, which means I'm expecting the price to still come back here in the future and grab a sell opportunity. So I'll be expecting price to do something like this in the future. Just do something like this. Buying away from there. So this is the outlook I have on AUD US dollar. Yes, on AUD US dollar, this is the outlook I'm having. I want to see a sell before I buy. So this is it here. 4-hour time frame is the same. 1-hour time frame, it's the same. So is it possible for the price to actually start buying till it gets here to hit that level as a complete model for the buy side? Of course, it's very possible, but I'm not looking at that now. I'm seeing the markets going down to grab liquidity below this price level and start buying till it gets to this level. Okay, that is on 4-hour time frame, 1-hour time frame perspective. On the 4-hour time frame perspective, this is how it looks like, and I would maintain this bias because this is also a complete sell model right here. So overall picture, I want to see a new set of buy in this level before we have some sell in the future. So to keep that simple, this is what we have currently on the chart. So we do what the chart is saying. A parameter event changes during the fundamental analysis, it is fine. I'm definitely going to update because I do that almost every time. All right, this is USDCAD or USDCAD weekly time frame. Okay, for last week, I analyzed the market that I was expecting it to buy across above this price level, sell down to this level to pick up a buy again. And exactly that is what the price is doing because this is the buy. Actually, the buy was here, expecting the price to actually buy above this level to grab liquidity and sell down and continue buying again. Now, the selling down was here I marked for that day. Friday, the market played out. So was that price level exactly? And currently, I'll be looking for more bullish momentum on the USDCAD. But to keep this simple, let's go to the weekly time frame analysis and then let's find it out from there. Okay, this is the outlook for me on USDCAD weekly time frame analysis. What we have here, expecting the price to eventually take it out. What you've seen here is the price playing out with what we refer to as the bearish fair value gap zone, which was formed at this price level here. It was a very tiny one, not so tiny anyways, but it was good enough for the price to rehearse into it and start selling down. And of course, it got to a demand zone where the market rejected the price level, or where the price rejected the yeah, of course, when the price rejected that zone completely in the market, and then we have that bullish momentum creating higher highs and higher lows. And of course, the market is currently sitting on 1.3827 right now, expecting more bullish momentum into this price range. But then let's break it down on the daily time frame perspective. What exactly does it look like? On the daily, Friday was a fantastic bearish momentum that closed almost 3 previous day bullish candles. It closed more than 90% of that. And what you can see from here, from the USD that I analyzed before now, is to see the price hitting above this level, retracing and going back up. My bias from last week remains the same on USD CAD. So I'm looking towards that again. On the 4-hour time frame perspective, the outlook remains the same. I'll be looking for more sell momentum per venture because this is sitting on a demand zone. So if that should be the case, well, I'll be looking for more sell momentum before this buy will continue. And where can that sell be? It could be any price level right here. It could be here. Not so certain with what the price will do with Monday candle. Okay, so I will just be waiting for Monday candles. But overall, I'm expecting a buy regardless. I'm expecting a buy. So if this happens, I will just be having something like this, which is rare. I'm not even seeing it, but it's just an anticipation for the unseen, right? So this is also very possible, whereby we can have the price creating something strong as this. Okay, it can be just like this, and all of this price level, all of this void, by then it will be taken out for a buy momentum opportunity in the market. So we can have that. It is also possible that we have a bit of buy into this level like this, then a lot about this level, the price starts creating the sell into this range, and we have this, of course. So it can play out in any ways. Most important thing is get ready and know all the dimension that this can play out from, so we can benefit from whichever way the market is playing out from. All right, that's very quick. Let's go to the USDJPY. Yes, fantastic. USDJPY has actually gotten back to the price level I was expecting, which was this line right here, because it was the zone I was expecting the price to get to and pick up for a buy in the future. And overall, I'm expecting a buy from here till it gets here before I expect a sell. So far, so well. The price has not gotten there. It did a little bit of that movement for last week. It did about 150 pips on average in our direction, and straight down, it took back everything with Friday candle. And then what we have here is very simple. I'll be expecting more sell. Okay, let's go to the weekly. Sorry. Really moved so far. So on the weekly time frame perspective, it's been ranging a bit for a couple of times now, ranging lower lows, lower highs with a lot of weeks back and forth, up and down, creating that. But at the end of the day, it's still forming higher highs and higher lows with these weeks right here. So expecting more bullish momentum on that. And on the daily time frame perspective, like I said, this will just give us a sell momentum back into the demand zone and continue to buy. So on the daily time frame perspective, what we have is a bit simpler. We have the opportunity to see the price creating this strong bearish momentum in this ranging zone. And with that outlook, therefore, we can't deny the fact that this was a massive one, right? So if we're creating a bearish momentum, if we're creating a demand zone in the market, where I just deleted now, I'll expect the price to move into that range and do something like this for a buy. So let me take out this so that I don't have so many lines on my chart. Something like this is clearer. So I can expect the price to do something like this again, because the market is actually at a demand zone on the monthly time frame perspective, which is very good, which I've analyzed this before. Okay, so I'm just looking for more bullish momentum at the end of the day. As you can see, this is daily time frame perspective. On the 4-hour time frame perspective, I can be looking for a sell right here because the market is actually showing it. So what we have here was a great and significant bearish momentum in the market, which actually closes at this price 146.88. I can see the bullish momentum for last week, and that can show us a little bit of momentum into where the price can actually get to before we start seeing another bearish energy. So from there, I can look out for a buy in this direction to see more buy, pump buy, before we have a sell, which is something like this in the market on the 4-hour time frame perspective on the USDJPY. So this is the bigger picture. Look at how it looks like. Okay, but then let's see what we can have. Let's see what we can get from here on the 1-hour time frame perspective if the information will be the same. And of 1-hour time frame perspective, so I think I need to remove this so it doesn't confuse you. Okay. But let's leave it. Let's leave it anyways. Let's leave it at. So on the 1-hour time frame perspective, as it is, let me remove it for now. I'm not comfortable. So it's creating that reversal crown, as you can see, higher highs and higher lows, bullish momentum, taking back everything here. This has balanced this. Now we have this momentum. So all we can still expect in the market is we see the markets buying, we see a bullish momentum, and this is about how many pips in total? This is about 176 pips momentum for a sell. So we can expect the price to actually do a bit of that, more than half of that before it starts selling. And peradventure, if that happens, is a good place for us to look for a buy opportunity, a sell opportunity from there in the future. But ideally, we're still going to buy because overall, whatever the DXY is doing is what we expect to see this USDJPY doing. So the moment we expect more sell on DXY, we should be expecting that sell to move below this price level before we have the buy. So It's just what we'll see on this side that we determine what we should be doing with this one particularly. So right here on the forward daily time frame, 1 hour time frame, USDCHF. I'm not checking this much anyways, but let's see USDCHF daily time frame perspective. I'm still looking for a buy overall though. I'm looking for a buy overall. It's back to this level too. Can you see? I marked this level as well, expecting the price to get below this price level before we have that buy of energy. So this did not buy since when I anticipated it. So I waited and then currently it's here. So I can wait for it to do a bit of momentum into the bearish side and from there pick up a buy energy from here. So it could be anywhere around here. It's not going to be a bad it's not going to be a bad deal. I can wait around there to see the price coming straight down. And when it does from this price level to this price level, and then we have this buy to that side. So this is the USDCHF outlook. And then NZD US dollar, nothing really much with this. I anticipated this one last week. I marked it out where I was telling my students in the community that from here we can expect the price to actually move into this range. And if that should be the case, currently moving to that range. And as you can see, let's do that. As you can see, the price move into the range. This dotted line is where I'm expecting the price to actually get to trigger on the threshold of this entire zone. And currently the market didn't get there, but anywhere from this zone is fine. They understand how I do that. And this is it right here. So this moved about 70 pips on average for last week. That's NZD US dollar. Okay, so that being said, which other will I have to talk about? I'll talk about gold. Our Great Britain pounds Canadian dollar. Well, the way it is, you remember this currency pair? We had some fantastic time with it, right? So as it stand, what's this? So as it stand, this has done a bit of buy. It's more than a bit anyways, because this gave us more than 470 pips in the market for this buy. Can you see that? And we wanted to sell it the moment the price gets here. So it gives us that opportunity as well. And what you can see here, the price actually respected that zone a little bit, and then it's going back there. It could be the third test. It could be the second test. I really don't care. I just want to see the price move there again. If the price peradventure, so this, I'm going to take it out. I think it's done. So peradventure, if the price move like this, if the price move back and create something like this, I'm going to take this very seriously. I'm going to take this for a sell right here. So I will sell it down to this price level, and in the future we can talk about where the next buy opportunity will happen. So currently this is what I'm looking at on this, and it's very possible for the price to actually still do a little bit of that, because right here we have that rejection for the bullish side. Okay, and we have a fair value gap zone below here, which I won't be using. I don't like the wait for me. This is a week of rejection, a week of rejection. That's a sandwich momentum right there. So I'm not really ready for that. So I'll just leave this to be. I'll let it come into this range before I look for a sell opportunity. That's all on that. Okay, VTC US dollar, how did it go? Okay, I analyzed this for a sell last week, that we sell into this range before I start buying. And look at what the price did. On Friday, the market actually moved into that range, which is this level. I don't know if it actually trigger everybody, but right here, it just at that same point, which means it can not even trigger at some people's, depending on the broker you're using anyway. But then currently it's moved and tapped into that range, and it did a bit of that bullish energy for us on BTC US dollar, which is looking good. I'm still expecting more bullish momentum anyways. On the gold part, well, gold has been a tough guy recently. And when you look at what gold has done, on the weekly time frame perspective, it's not really that more or less it's not predictable. Like we just have to deal with, we know it's going to be an overall buy. And most of the times we're just dealing with what we see in the right context of the current of the time frame we're chatting with. Okay, so currently on weekly, this is nothing to write home about. It's a ranging market. It's really ranging. I could only be expecting the buy to be a general buy, of course. So I was expecting this to be a good buy on daily time frame perspective, because last week I was expecting it to actually sell into this range before we have this buy. But unfortunately, it sold more than 70% of our expectation before I start buying. And all of this buy, it was before our buys, which was here on 4 hour time frame perspective. So on this daily time frame perspective, as it is, I'll still be expecting a bit of bearish momentum at the end of the day, because a little bit of bearish momentum to give us a bullish momentum, because I'm looking for this price level to be taken out. I'm looking for this price level to be taken out. All-time high price is still above, which is here. Okay, so I'm expecting gold to still move actually in the bullish direction overall. But on the 4 hour time frame perspective, let's see what we have. On the 4 hours, we have a lot of things going on here. This is more of a range. This is more of a incomplete model yet, right? If you look at it carefully. So we have this, we're expecting the price to get here over time, and the price has not. But where the price got to here was about the threshold for this momentum here, which is the bearish fair value gap zone, which was around the threshold the price get to before it starts selling. So last week the price was here when I said everybody should sell. So we sold in the group and the community, and we sold to this level. We're expecting the price to get here actually. So that's why I said it sold more than 90% of what we're expecting. And currently it took a buy from there, which is also understandable because we have a very strong void right here, which is an imbalance zone too. But I don't consider this anyway. So currently the price has done this momentum right here, and what I'm expecting to see is a bit of sell to give us more bullish momentum. So how will the sell be? Well, in my perspective, personally, how I'm looking at it, I'm not looking at this one anymore. So what I'll be expecting to see on gold right now is a bit of sell based on this rejection, lower high right here with the last candle that formed on 4-hour time frame perspective on Friday. I'll be waiting for the bearish momentum to get to this level, something like this, this range. Okay, so just have it this way to keep it simple. All right, to keep it just simple. So this is what I'll be expecting to see on gold for this week. So ideally, this also is subjected to what will happen on Monday. We're expecting Monday to be good. There is no high impact news on Monday, of course. So we're expecting more information on Monday that will guide our weekly bias. But currently, with what we have on charts right now, this is what my own personal bias is about all of these currency pairs. All right, trade with proper risk management and do enjoy the week. Have a beautiful one and trade with proper risk management again. Thank you. God bless you. Share this, and we see you again during the week. Have a wonderful trading week ahead of you. And bye for now.